Nick pressed his eyelids together as the sun begins to stream in, past the house's wooden deck and into his bedroom. He tucks his feet under the covers, attempting to warm up the ice-cold toes that received a night's worth of chilled air from the room's AC vent. He reaches over, feeling the curves of Lana's hips moving closer to her. Shouldn't that say him? If it's her hips moving towards him? This just doesn't sound right. Her hips are moving towards her. I don't know how that's hospital. Hospital? I don't know how that's hospital! I don't know how that's possible. I think I need another toke, guys. Shit. Oh, it's okay, actually. Should probably be and moves closer to her. Oh, it's him. Okay, I read it wrong. I'm retarded. Feeling the curves of Lana's hips, moving closer to her. Okay, I see. I'm retarded. You see, that's why I'm a good beta reader. Because then I'll know, well, if you put this actually here and flip this around, like, he reaches over, moving closer to Lana, feeling the curves of her hips. Just makes the imagery more clear. Yeah, ordering is like, for clarity, is like, but, if it's a stylistic choice that has a purpose and rules to it, where you purposefully mix the syntax in sentences as like a voice for the narrator. And then, like we were talking about this earlier with TLBG's story, how you can use these small pieces to, like, how do you say this? Move an ordering of purpose. So for instance, for him, he was, before someone said something important, he would preface it with, oh, they said this. And then it would be the exact words they say. And then you have a time when you subvert, because you do that enough times, it becomes a style, as long as you're consistent about it. And then the times that you don't use it, it hits even harder, and it makes the reader pay attention to it, because they're like, wait, why didn't he say the exact words this time? But there's no context for Lana. Just realized. And that's where you have to say, well, can we add in a transition before this? Right? And you can leave it in a mystery. You don't have, and again, it's a stylistic choice. Do you want to make it? But that sets a mood, right? You have to remember that everything that you do has to be purposeful, because it's going to set an expectation and a mood in the reader, right? And as long as you're consistent with it, they'll realize that. But you have to have rules, consistency, and know when to break those rules for certain reasons. And then those small things become your like best tools, and you can manipulate anything with them. You just have to establish it. The problem is, it will cut out some readers because they won't be able to get past the imagery. Like with Callie. you have to be almost a high-level reader to read Callie's work, because the imagery is so powerful and abstract that it almost deters from the actual story. But that's the magic of his stories, is how crazy the imagery in it is. So it's like you just have to go with what your style is and try and hit that audience. You know, begins Nick. If we hurry, I bet we can finish before the kids wake up. Too late. I heard them laughing at our door a few minutes ago, responds Lana. Boo! Yells Stevie and Joey, causing Nick to throw his arms up, feigning surprise at his son's prank as the two run in and jump into bed. In the kitchen, preparing breakfast, Lana hums, sawing her hips under the shirt she confiscated from Nick. I would say like a transition here. Like that's probably... Sorry, here. Something like, okay guys, time for breakfast, and then in the kitchen preparing breakfast. You know? But like, preface that at the end of this paragraph with either a dialogue or character action. Or both. Preferably both. And is this supposed to be a play on words, or is that just divine? Or is it supposed to be like something like, you know, like to emphasize, like divine, right? Because you can definitely use that for emphasis inside of dialogue to show either a time skip or location change is what I've been doing. It's a spelling error. Alright. Sips his coffee, admiring his wife. Can't believe I'm married to such a divine woman, thinks Nick. Shortest. How many years? Nick rubs the tingling feeling in his temples. I can't believe it's been 8 years of bliss. Like divine. Better. Yeah, this was like a training short story to get going on writing other stuff. Nice. Practice writing, like the good thing about practice writing, you never have to worry about coming back and fixing it. I used to do flash fictions where you basically had like a minute and a half. Guys, we got the ads. You like a minute and a half. Breaking the fourth wall. Yeah, that was 100% purposeful. That was a very purposeful number. Guys, I think the ads are winning. Oh no. Oh no. The ads have won. I am now your overlord. The ads. You must watch your ads. Eat your vegetables and watch your ads. They're good for you guys, I swear. You like your Lucky Charms. It's like sugar. It'll get you going, get you up in the day, get those carbohydrates going, get your ads 100% of the time, all the time, every time. We got you covered, brother. Don't worry about it. It's all good. If I don't believe in ads, they don't exist. Power of belief, guys. The power of the mind. Yep. Nick rubbed the tingling feeling on his temples. Can't believe it's been 8 years of bliss. Is this supposed to be like just like happiness in his brain? Or is this like an itch? Or is this like a common thing? Or is this a mannerism that he does? These flapjacks are going to be delicious, says Lana, as she places a stack on the bar. It's part of the thing. The thing? What's the thing? Wait, did I miss something? Okay. So it's just a foreshadowing of something. It's like, here's a tiny little crumb. There's something going on. He can't remember. Like a brain blip. Okay. Okay. I see where this is going. These flapjacks are going to be delicious, says Lana, as she places a stack on the bar, dividing the kitchen and dining area. Not as delicious as you, responds Nick, caressing her hand. Shut up, you goober. Still have more to make. Good old goober. You're a goober. You're a goober. You're a gooboo. You're a tonberry. I want pancakes, yells Joey, his short legs scampering toward the plate of freshly butter-fried bread. Nick happily sits, the 5-year-old on his knee, as Joey grabs flapjack and tears into it. Oh wait, hold on. Grabs the flapjack and tears into it. Really should add scene dividers. Either a transitional sentence or a scene divider would help. I just usually do a transitional sentence. Just say, like for instance with the transition to breakfast. Okay guys, time for breakfast. Boom. Okay, now we're in breakfast. Breakfast is done. Okay, well you said breakfast is done. Well obviously now we're all sitting at the table. Right? Tears into it. Why would you tear into it? Is he crying? Is Joey? I thought he was happy. What did Nick do that made him tear into his flapjacks? I'm so confused, Hugo. Like, no, I'm just trolling. But yeah, that's how it was last time, though. Okay, I won't get it wrong this time. The sun begins to dip beneath the tide as Nick admires his son's sandcastle. Yeah, see? And then be like, something like, alright, well, we're going to the beach today. And then they're at the beach, right? Just like one sentence to say, okay, we're moving on to something else, is like literally all you need. Sun begins to dip behind the tide as Nick admires his son's sandcastle. Nick lets his head fall into his beach chair. Taking in the salt-scented air, buying this house was a great idea. Can't believe I could afford it. Wait, how did I afford? Nick, once again, rubs his temple, massaging out the tingling sensation that seems to be sporadically bothering him. That's right, last year's promotion. Lana's voice cuts through his thoughts. It could be like the kitchen chair turns into a beach chair as Nick scratches his head, puzzled for a second, then smiling at his sons. Little hints like that, like, the transitions are like so fade in, just like dissolve in, but it's like something you just don't notice. You're just picking up in the moment. That would be very powerful foreshadowing. Important story placement. The crumbs. Ready to head in? It's getting late. Yes, yeah, let's go in. Hey Lana, I'm having a brain fart. When did you say it was Stevie's birthday? Next month, you goober. You doing okay, Nick? Yeah, I'm okay. I just have a headache, says Nick as he rubs his temples. Nick walks into the bedroom after having delivered both boys to their respective beds. As he steps in, he turns off the light, leaving the room illuminated by a small lamp and the moon outside. As he waits for Lana to finish brushing her teeth, he wonders, next month, what day? This time, he finds himself rubbing his temples with the balls of his hands until Lana's voice soothes him. Maybe I shouldn't let this robe slip off because of that headache of yours, she says, intentionally letting her bathrobe fall to the ground. No headache could keep me from this, says Nick, raising his eyebrow. Lana climbs into bed on top of Nick, loving her husband until sleep takes them both. A distant, steady beep invades Nick's head. Beep, 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 beep. What is that? Is it my alarm? Is it Monday? Beeping fades as the morning sun stirs Nick. Turns away, ducking his head under the covers. Lana's arms drape over him as he feels the shirt she commandeered from him rub against his back. So, like, the beeping is a really good, like, foreshadowing thing, right? Like, it's like making you question again what the fuck is going on. And I imagine that like the beeping of a fucking like heart monitor in a hospital. It's a shame the kids are already awake, she whispers, just in time for Joey and Stevie to run in, flapping their arms, pretending to be eagles, and jumping into their parents' bed. So, says Nick, what are our Sunday plans? Sunday, responds Lynn. It's Saturday, silly. Begins Nick, his hands reaching his temples. Yes, sorry, I totally thought it was Sunday. Just make them fuck. Some people aren't good at smut scenes. This was nice. This was nice. You know. This implied that they fucked. But it was like very tactful. Oh, you missed that? Okay, you missed this? Yeah. Climb into bed on top of Nick, loving her husband until sleep takes them both. Obviously they fucked. Just use your imagination. It doesn't have to be. I like to write erotica, so I would have gone hard, and that scene would have been longer than this entire story. And it grabs this huge throbbing. Well, you can do this. I have way too many commands. Lana climbs on top of him and they fucked. Better? No, Hugo, I think she just missed it. That's wrong! The machine is never wrong! It's the only thing that tells the truth. Well, I thought it was Sunday. Nick again sits sipping his coffee, watching his wife make her world-famous Saturday morning pancakes. Climbs on top of him, pulls her panties to the side, and he enters her. I got you, bro. She presses him down onto the bed, her hand running across his chest, down his navel, grabbing onto his throbbing manhood. Squealing, she rubs it against herself, staring into his eyes, loving every moment of it. And she leans in to kiss him as she slowly moves herself down. And once the tip has entered, she unleashes her fury. Hair flailing, bed shaking, walls crumbling as if the house was falling down. Then you get that moment of, oh shit, did we wake the kids? Grabs a hammer and smashes it. Oh yeah, baby. Clawing down his back, blood running down her nails. As they breathe into each other's mouths, stopping each other from screaming as they don't want to wake the kids. God, what it was like when they had free roam of the house. Thinking back to the honeymoon, they draw a satanic circle in their bed in blood. Okay, I'll stop. The tentacles come out, but Nick can't control it, and they head for him instead of Lana. Then Lana bursts out laughing, and she doesn't stop them. You wanted this, right? She says to Nick. She loves how allowing her sex tentacle suction cups wrap around his legs repository flap. She shoves her fist into his mouth. Oof. That is the good stuff. Now you know how it feels, Nick. Hugo, that's so fucking good. I don't know, did he fuck her in the ass? Because I'm pretty sure it's a little bit different being fucked in the ass than it is in the pussy, but whatever. You know, I'm just a dude. I wouldn't know what the other type is like, you know. Plus, I don't know what it's like to women, because dudes have the G-spot in their prostate, right? So it's a little bit different for dudes than it is for chicks. Just saying. God didn't want us to put stuff up there. Why he put a fucking G-spot there? I think that is some big ass bullshit, motherfucking sexist shit. I think some girls like anal more, but I haven't completed my research. Oh, God. It is what it is, right? You know, I'm so glad we bought this house. I love it. You deserve it, Lana. Well, you're the one that earned that promotion. Yep. That I earned with my hard work at... Lana, where do I work? Queen. The subtext on that is fucking prime. Asks Nick, trying to rub away the throbs plaguing the sides of his head. At the bank, you goober, responds Lana, and she makes her way over to Nick. What's gotten into you these days? Nick, his brow furrowed and his hand clutching the sides of his head, begins to make his way to the living room to sit next to his children. Lana, how old are the kids? 40-something, right? Nick, you're scaring me. They're 5 and 6. No, they're 440. The throbbing in Nick's head begins to make a sound, a beeping, a steady beeping, a beeping, drowning out his wife, his kids, the world around him, everything. Nick opens his eyes and sees a white plastic band. At each end of the band, 2 metal prods dig into his temples. He reaches for the device, removing it much easier than he thought. To his left, a machine beeps. As it drips liquid into a tube, Nick's gaze follows the tube, leading it to one of the many needles attached to his arms. He attempts to lift the cover off himself, but his withered hands lack the strength. 2 nurses rush into the white, sterile room and begin checking the numbers, buttons, and dials on all the machines attached to Nick's body in one way or the other. Either taped on or stuck in through protruding needles, wires, and tubes. Nick tries to speak as he looks around for any sign of Lana, but the feeding tube in his mouth disallows his words to form and limits the motions of his head. Then his memory leaks back. The promotion propelled him into a position that he improperly handled. The pressures of the new responsibilities caused him to lash out at Lana and his sons. Eventually, they left. Even now, as cancer decays his elderly body, only the beeping of the machines and the nurses tending to them accompany him. Although they largely ignore him, Nick's gaze drops to the device in his hands. Slowly, as tears well up in his eyes, he lifts the device, attaching the probes to his temples. 3 beeps and a few green lights later alert Nick that the device attaches. Nick hears the slow hum of his ceiling fan as he shelters his icy toes under the covers. Turning in bed, he realizes that Lana is already sat up, reading, before noticing him staring at her. Does jump around quite a bit, but I guess that's the part of the story. Like I said, just maybe having like one sentence that infers like the next, even if it's just a thought, would be just make it a little bit smoother. I know that look, she chuckles, and even though I'd love to, 2 little goobers are to rush in and scare us. Then we better be surprised, says Nick, caressing the curves of his beautiful wife. Nick finds it best to enjoy Saturday, since the hours of the weekend speed up quickly and Monday arrives quickly. I think you can just say speed up and Monday arrives quickly. Or just speed by. I don't think you need quickly twice. But other than that, holy shit, yeah, it's a good story. Just like literally one transitional sentence per scene. Gold. Speed up, Monday arrives quickly. Yeah. Well, yeah, I really like it, Hugo. I love and just like the little bit of inference. Nick finds it best to enjoy Saturday since the hours of the weekend speed by and Monday arrives quickly. Exactly. There you go. There you go, Hugo. I had changed it after you copy and pasted. Ha! I never get the final copy. There's always something hiding there. Alright. But yeah, definitely loved it, man. It's evocative. I love it. It's got that hook to it. Just maybe start with like the beeping in a white room. And then he wakes up in his bed. And you're like, oh, what a dream. And then maybe very ominous, yeah. Trying to keep it a short story makes it a bit expository at the end. Dude, you could literally put this at the beginning. This could be literally, and then you just end with that, but you start with this. Nick finds it best to enjoy Saturday since the hours of the weekend speed by quickly and Monday arrives, and Monday arrives quickly. It'll evoke in the reader, okay, well, why? And then you get to the end of the story and you're like, and you're not even at the end, you're like 3/4 of the way through. You're like, yes, okay, it makes sense, right? And then you could just end it with, it was a beautiful Saturday. Ties everything back together. That's the power of cycles. Connection. A true ending connects to the beginning in some way. Which either makes it like a complete or full circle. Where you're ending and cutting off and creating a, like, you're going from this loop in the infinity to this loop in the infinity. That's how I think about it. But yeah, those, like I said, small changes and small things are what make your story the most powerful. So those 2 changes, how about this for an ending sentence? He never felt a better Saturday. Yes, there you go. There you go. See? Perfect. Fucking perfect. That's the good shit right there. Hell yeah. Alright, alright. Well, best Saturday you ever had. It was an artificial one. I don't know if, like, revealing it 100%. Like, you've technically already 100% revealed it. I feel like tacking that onto the end kind of ruins the end. Because he's not, like, the whole point, Hugo, is you're supposed to be in the character's brain at the end. Oh, no, just discussing it between us. Yeah, okay. But I would say, like, you're inside the character's brain and, like, their head at the end. So you want to have the feeling that they don't remember. And you're going back into the cycle again. And again, another thing that it feels like this isn't the first time that this has happened. Right? That's the best way to do, in my opinion, short stories like that. Because you can tie everything together with a nice little neat bow and you don't need 100 different things to do it. And you're not, like, braiding 100 different things together to get that bow. But if there are no more submissions from anyone, then we can move on to the Sanderson Publishing Q&A. Yay! Do you guys like publishing? Do you guys have an agent? Yeah, no worries, Hugo. I'll show you my Lily story next time. Lol. But, gotta get to bed, now. Yeah, have a great night, Hugo. Take care, good sir. Enjoy the rest of your sleep.